Hello, this is Troy with the Noble Grafted In Middle Position. And so, looking at the biggest mistake Christianity has made from the time of the ascension, primarily because there's one group of students, of theologians. They've made the early church fathers their patriarchs. Like, they spend all their time studying the early church fathers because they don't dare go back and study the prophets and learn what Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were promised. They go back to what the early church fathers said about the church. And then there's a group that actually makes a really, really big mistake. There's two groups out here. And in Romans 11, the Noble Grafted In Middle Position tells us we should be looking at the Bible that they were actually preaching from to determine the context of what they wrote. So when they wrote the books that we call the epistles, if we want to know the context, we need to quit reading the cliff notes and go read the actual books that they were quoting from. So, a Redeemer will come to Zion, to those in Jacob who turn from transgression. That's Isaiah. And actually, you would have to read Isaiah 60 to get the context. And when it says a Redeemer will come from Zion, one of the things that the immediate context, he puts on his garments of vengeance. He will repay. Repayment to his enemies should be part of this context. A Redeemer will come to Zion. The reason we don't do that is because we have covenant theologians who think they've replaced Israel. So we have covenant theologians that don't understand the covenants, plural, of promise. And therefore, the church, believers in the year 2025, are following church fathers instead of the patriarchs. Instead of the promise, the covenants given to the patriarchs, they're following teachings that come from the early church fathers that are uninspired. And therefore, they've made themselves strangers. They've kept the church strangers to the actual covenants of promise. This is